Welcome back from that break. You are still watching Kisti'S Lounge, and guess what? We're right into our real talk. This is our real talk because we have so many issues that are happening around the world. We have so many important things that need to be talked about. You know what I mean? So right here on the couch on our real talk, I have the one and only, the legend of hip hop, Navio.
What up? What up?
You crack me up with that deep voice. I love your voice, Navio. Oh my God.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Should find myself.
But
we're not new friends. Everybody knows that. We're not new friends. And I'm so glad to have you here on Kisti'S Lounge, on my couch.
It's a privilege, man. You know, we're both back in the country, you know, doing what we love.
Yes,
definitely. You know, in the place we love.
Definitely.
You know, the place we're from. So I'm happy.
And Navio, we're gonna go right into real talk, and what real talk is really about is talking about issues, you know, that really matter, issues that are gonna inspire, change the world, and I feel like these conversations are really important to have. Here in Uganda, this is what I think about. I feel like our issues are deeper because. However much, in America, your lives are, because I've lived in America, I've lived in the UK, and as a black woman, I'm not that scared to walk on the street. However, I'm scared for my black men to walk on the street because I've seen these things happen to them. However, when you look at the system itself here, our system being underdeveloped and us having corruption, it's there in other countries too. But I feel like that whatever is happening within our country is worse because it's happening to us by our own people. What do you think about that?
I think I understand that because one of the deep points, for example, the reason why settler colonialism worked so well in South Africa is because the people felt as if they had a lot of different divisions, and then they started, and then the white people worked on that because they're like, oh, settler colonialism hasn't worked anywhere else because they haven't successfully managed to divide people till you feel like you're different, even though you're the same color. Just because you speak a different language, you know, culturally you're different, you should be judged differently.
Right.
And I think, for example, here, you know, I have a great grandfather who's white. And sometimes I'll walk through my village and people be like, Muzungu. You know what I mean? Even me, they put me one step aside. You know what I mean? And I think it's so dangerous. In the States, what helped them, I think, achieve things earlier was the fact that it doesn't matter how black you are.
We're all black.
Yes. If you're black, that is who the white people are racist against.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what.
Even Mexicans are black in America, but their skin is pretty much white.
Yeah. Even so any measure of that, you're judged on that. And I think here the dangerous thing would be that we know how many divisions there are. What an uptown Muganda feels about a downtown Muganda.
Exactly.
What someone from the north feels about someone from the south. We have so many divisions. Thank God colonials never capitalized on those divisions.
Right.
Because in South Africa, for example, you know, I filled in a lot of papers. I was there for 6 years. When you're filling in forms, the amount of divisions, racially, the way they make you break yourselves down is incredible. And then remember, they had a place where those people live. Southwestern Township, black people. This side might be more for Zulus, this side for Xhosa, this side for, you know what I mean, Lenasia, all the Asians. This side for Indians, this side for Arabs, this side for people mixed, Malaysian, which they broke them down like that. And then they kept them separate to really enforce that they were separate. Because they didn't want any of these groups coming together. That's called a takeover. That's a revolution. So divide and conquer really worked there. So we have so many divisions. That's one of the dangerous things. But I think if we can rise above and be like, you know what? My brother's my brother. You know, I'll sit down with Okello, I'll sit down with, you know, Aniwa, I'll sit down with, you know, anyone. We just make sure that we keep our identity as Africans. You know what I mean? If we get those divisions in us, and then it becomes political, we'll have a big
danger.
problem.
Will be suffering from what happened in Rwanda.
Exactly. And the Kenya as well, the clashes. The clashes always start up. Where I went to school, the clashes always used to start there, and it was purely tribal. You'd have the Luo and the Kikuyu running for office. Things don't work out for one.
It's
clashes.
a fight. It's a fight. Okay, well, great. I just feel like people need to understand this better. So in America, we're seeing, you know, people looting, we're seeing people, you know, really fighting, like literally out there, like, look, and they're saying violence, blah, blah, blah. And what do you think about the violence? Because what do you think about that violence? Everybody sees it different.
I don't want anyone innocent to ever be hurt. At the same time, I don't want a government like that to impose something on someone with skin like mine, because they're like me. You know, I wouldn't want to be judged by that. And of course, when you have a situation where you brought me there, you took me to America, I was here happy. Exactly. You took me there, and then you disassociate yourself from history so much that you believe I just showed up on your beaches one day, and I'm trying to take a natural resource from you. I gave you those resources. Right. I developed those resources. I was in the field by force developing the resources. You are only America because of what the black people did and built your country. Exactly. So now you turn against us. They wipe out all that history in their children's minds. Till a guy comes through, he sees a black guy, he's like, this guy is trying to rob us. It's wealth you never have. Minus that, you killed the native people to get that country. You're not from America yourself. So I'm closer to an American, you know what I mean, to a Native American than you are. Exactly. So it's an issue that has to be sorted out. And I'd say to all our people out there, all lives matter. That's great. Everyone knows that. Black lives are the people that are being targeted in the States. Let us deal with the Black Lives conundrum. Then we will help all the Chinese and all the Mexicans and everyone being targeted. Right now, black brothers are dying. We are black. Can we please all stay on the same page with the American guys? Black Lives Matters. Let's stay on page with our black American guys and you know, help them get out of this. Okay,
so now moving on, we have a lot of Ugandans moving to other countries, moving to America. Because when I was in America, oh my God, the amount of people that would write to me saying, oh, how can I go to America? Can you please help me? You know, what do you think about our people leaving Uganda and going to wherever they go? How is that affecting us as Africa? Or what do you think? Yeah, pretty much what do you think about that? Because I know how I feel about it. Because I've been there and now I'm back. Yes. So, and you've also been different countries, lived in different countries and been back. What do you think about our people who keep going, continue going?
There's some people who would be so fundamentally useful to have here. Some people who are educated here, and then all that knowledge, you know, Uganda has given you all that knowledge and then you go and work somewhere else. Right. But at the end of the day, each individual is an individual. You don't know what their family's been through. Exactly. You don't know what money they need to raise. You don't know who they're sending money back to. You don't know what they did to get where they need to get to. I believe it's an individual option to do what you do. It would be nice to see my own sister's a doctor working outside the country. You know, it would be nice to see her come back. But I think what's important for people like her is they have such a Ugandan perspective still. She's involved with so many charities and things happening on ground. Great. So even though she goes across and she gets her, you know, her whatever she's getting paid times 10 of what she'd get, she always makes sure that she has a big connection with home. I think it's important, you know. I mean, if you're going to be outside, at least have a big connection with home, you know, and try and empower some people here. Start up a few businesses, you know, get some investment going for where you're from. So I wouldn't say like, hey man, I'm against people going outside. It's an opportunity. I go and I perform. I did 30 shows, you know, I mean, at the end of last year, I did 30 shows in the States because it just made sense. I would love to be here as well, but it just made sense. So I can imagine someone has a job, you're on contract for 2 years, you go work a bit, you come back, there's no harm in it. Just have a Ugandan perspective. Keep your brothers close to you and empower people on the ground. There's no problem.
I love that answer, Navio, because it really goes back to how I think about it. And I just feel like for the development of our country, Uganda, if we have, I'm thinking, imagine all these people all the educated, all the professional Ugandans who are living all over the world. Imagine they were all to come back here. Ooh. What do you know what that will do to the economy of Uganda, and you know how amazing that will be if possible. Right? So I like when you say, you know, always have a connection back home, because again, it's an opportunity and there's certain opportunities that we don't have here. So that answer was really beautiful. And on that note, we're gonna stop here with our Real Talk, and we'll be right back after this break.